This is Smallsy Surgery.
This week here at Nova, we are doing Jurassic World Week, the new Jurassic World Rebirth movie. It's out everywhere in cinemas today. Maybe you want to go check it out this weekend. Can I say there's a big Jurassic or T-Rex popcorn head bucket that you can get around. The new Jurassic movie, what's it about, you're asking? Well, let me tell you. There's the three stars, Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali. Well, they're on a mission to secure DNA from dinosaurs that can provide life-saving benefits to mankind. Of course, it's a tale as old as time. Only the dinosaurs can save humanity until the dinosaurs start to eat humanity. They have to go to the most dangerous place on Earth. It's an island research facility for the original Jurassic Park. The movie is great. The man behind it, the director, his name is Gareth Edwards. When we were in New York City last week, I got to sit down with him. Let's play the chat, shall we?
On the island we're headed to, 24 species have survived there alone.
Survival is a long shot.
That's kind of our specialty.
She's scared. She's scared of.
Hi, I'm Gareth Edwards. Genuinely, I'm really excited for the audiences to see the movie.
These dinosaurs are too dangerous for the original park.
I really wanted to have that nostalgia of watching the original Jurassic Park.
Defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
Hey Gareth, great to see you again.
Too, yeah.
Congratulations on the film.
Oh, cheers.
I've spoken to everybody and they're giving you nothing but glowing reviews.
Was that my mum? She was there.
She said great things about you, but I felt like she was forced. No, everyone simultaneously love what you've done with it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was. It's a weird thing because it's like I love the original Jurassic Park to death. I think it's a masterpiece, and the idea of trying to compete with that is impossible.
Yeah.
And so you start to go, well, let's not do it then, right? Let's not. But then Steven Spielberg kind of gives you this script.
How does he do that? Does he call you, explain that to me? Because, I would think that's a spam
into him down
call.
the shop. So I was down the shop,
just
getting a loaf of bread. And, and I started chatting,
Yeah. And he goes, I think we should do another Jurassic, and I think you should direct.
Yeah, it was a bit like, he basically, what happened to me was, I was on the phone to a friend, and essentially my girlfriend texted me this story that Universal are looking for a director for Jurassic. She knows how much I love it. Yeah. And so as I'm still talking, I'm trying not to let them know, but I'm copying that story and I'm pasting it into a text. And I'm still talking to them.
Yep.
And then I basically type, "Is this stupid?" and send it to my agent and hit send. And I forgot all about it. And then when I hung up the phone, it said you got 4 missed calls. And then basically that weekend they sent the script. On Monday, I had to meet Frank Marshall, who's the producer of Raiders of the Lost Ark and things like this.
Yeah.
And that was insane. And I spoke to him, and at the end he went, "Okay, I want you to say everything you just said to me to Steven Spielberg tomorrow."
Wow.
And so then the next day I was at Universal Studios in Amblin and sat there, and very surreal moment of basically pitching a Jurassic film to the man himself, and it was very weird. You know?
Obviously, when you take on a project that people love, I think they're going to want a couple of nods to the originals, and they are in there. Is it a fine balance between going a bit too over the top and then just jamming it in their faces?
Yeah, I mean, when you make a movie, I think Hitchcock said something like, every film he makes, it's something like 40% of the ideas don't make it to the end.
Okay.
And so as a film director, you're just throwing every idea you can because you know that some of them are just not going to end up in the final film.
Yeah.
And so I just kept every time there was a little oh, I know what you could do there, there'd be a fun little spin. And it's funny because Stephen and David Koepp, who wrote the script in the original Jurassic Park, they're very humble people. And they sort of oh, no, don't do the little nods. It's cool. This is its own new thing and that. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm a massive fan. Everyone's a massive fan. I know in my mind, there's a few things that if I come and saw this film and it didn't happen, I'd be a little bit disappointed.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's a fine line. I was just basically, you go a little bit left and you're copying Jurassic too much. If you go a little bit right, it's not a Jurassic film. So this whole little path you're trying to machete through.
Well, I think the banner scene, I think, was incredibly well done.
Oh, thank you.
And also was a bit of a turning of the corner too, where it kind of sets up this era of the Jurassic franchise to be slightly different and separate from the three that people would have, grown up and loved if you're of that age, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the whole starting point of this movie is that basically everyone's bored of dinosaurs and they're dying off around the world. And I thought that was a really interesting, that's usually where most films end.
Yeah.
And this one began like that, and so it's like, okay, where does it go from here? And essentially, it was that script was one giant love letter to all the films I grew up loving.
I think I read somewhere, or the phrase was soft reboot.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but I was going to ask you because it's in the Jurassic World family, but then the cast that we have just seen are no longer in. It's a brand new cast. Is this a soft reboot? Are there more in the pipeline? What can you tell me?
I'll tell you what I can tell you.
Okay.
Maybe
because he's not going to give me an exclusive. I know that, right?
Well, this isn't a semi-exclusive. This is a soft exclusive.
A soft exclusive. Okay, right, yep.
When I got the script, it had a different title.
Okay.
And I was like, this feels like a new chapter. Just from reading the title.
Yeah.
I was like, this is different.
Okay.
And things changed as we carried on filming. And I'll let you try and prize it out of Frank Marshall or David Koepp or Mr. Spielberg. But it was definitely a new chapter. It was definitely like here we go. I don't know what their plan is. I think you got to make a film that stands on its own.
True.
My favorite part of a movie ever is the ending.
Yes.
And everything always works back from that. And so like it was really important this film ended. And then it's like a high-class problem for whoever it is if they need to make another one. Can
I ask one more question for you? There's a story that's sort of going viral about there's another summer blockbuster that will remain nameless. It's fine. It's nowhere near as good as Jurassic World. There. You know what? Let's be real. There are a couple. And one of the actors, their whole storyline had been cut. And I think a lot of people don't realise just how much is shot and made in a film. And as a director, how much extra do you shoot? How many storylines are there made and can hit the cutting room floor? I find it really interesting that, from the viewer side of things, that you shoot so much more than what actually ends up in the final movie.
Yeah, and different movies are different with that. With that, the answer would be very different depending on the film. On this one, it was very surreal because I was determined. The director's cut, it's called, right? When you make your first version, we showed a director's cut to the studio, and I was determined for it to be under 2 hours.
Yep.
So it was like 1 hour 59 something, and we showed it to them, and they said, "We really love it. It's great. We just missed the 5 minutes that you cut out."
Wow.
So basically, I had to put those 5 minutes back in, and that's the movie. Like and then when they came for the deleted scenes, they always put these like Blu-ray stuff. Yeah. I was like, I don't have any. Like I had two things.
No, this was a fine-tuned operation. We were in the middle of nowhere in Thailand.
I know.
I had to use everything we shot.
Exactly. We had like limited time, and I mean they'd spent this is getting David Koepp basically to write the screenplay is probably why this happened. It was a finely tuned engine that didn't need much tweaking.
Loved it. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thanks a lot.
You're listening to the Smallsy Surgery Podcast.
Hear more from Smallsy live weeknights from 8.
Only on Nova.